Hey, how's it going today, Warriors? I go by the name of Larice Kendall, and I am a certified professional life coach and relationship advisor. On this channel, I focus on helping people, whatever your status, from single to married, with creating true love and relationships. Today, I will be discussing love in general, but also the ways of how to know the difference between true love and in love. So please stay tuned for this valuable information, and I will see you in a moment. Welcome back, Warriors. Thank you for joining me today for this topic. I'm so happy to have you here with me for my first video. I have some valuable content for you. As I said, I will be discussing love. My passion is to give other people the tools that they need to build true, fulfilling relationships that last. Like most of us, I've been in many relationships that faded out, was unhealthy, unfulfilling, full of drama, or where I just flat out got played or got my heart broken. Recently, I became a certified professional life coach in multiple areas, and one of my focuses is on relationships. It's helped me to understand the psychology behind love and relationships better. So I want to help other people understand it better too. So that's why today we're going to first of all talk about what is love, how different people interpret or define love, and finally, I will help you understand the difference between true love and in love. So you can decide for yourself which you think is better. Obviously, I give my opinion or recommendation on what I personally think is best. So first, we'll get into what love is altogether, just to help you better understand. So let's get to it.
I guess I should say first and foremost, what is love? Is it a feeling? Is it an action or a choice? Is it an illusion? Is it a force? This is one of those questions that's not black and white, you know. Um, it's like one of those unanswerable questions, because there's so much complexity and depth to love that the human, we just have a hard time wrapping our mind around it. Um, love is basically experienced differently by each person. It can be experienced as a feeling, action, a force, all, or other. So like if you just think about the book, The Five Love Languages, and I'm not sure how familiar you are with the concept, but basically if you read the book or if you heard about it, basically the book is written by Gary Chapman, and he talks about the five ways that people receive and generally give love, the way they receive it. Um, but for time's sake, I'm not going to get into details over the book. I more than likely do it in a later video, maybe even my next video. But my point in mentioning was basically to express my point that, what is love? If you ask one person, maybe one thing. If you ask another person, it'll be another. So the first thing I wanted to do was uh, talk about love. I guess some definitions. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna go over every belief and definition of love because it's too many to cover, probably in one whole video. But I just touch on some. Now, looking at like a definition from Google, it said an intense feeling of deep affection. Another definition that was given was a great interest and pleasure in something. For instance, dancing or red velvet cake. Like for me, I love red velvet cake. um, Another definition that I found, love refers to a feeling of strong attraction and emotional attachment. Another definition was a feeling of deep romantic attachment based off sex. Like, we all known somebody, or there's been us for somebody else who, when they have sex, they in love. They think they have to have sex, because they confuse sex with love. Um, Wikipedia, love compasses a range of strong and positive emotional and mental states, from the most sublime virtue or good habit, the deepest interpersonal affection, and to the simplest pleasure. An article I looked up called Philosophy of Love. Love is an abstract noun, which means for some it is a word unattached to anything real or sensible. That is all. For others, it is a means by which our being, ourself, and its world are irrevocably affected once we are touched by love. So now I want to go a little more in depth, I guess, about the different things that people say that love is. So the first one, it's a feeling. You feel it in your heart and you think about them a lot. So basically, let's say when I think about Jane Doe, my heart starts pounding, or something along those lines. Now, still, evidence suggests this is not exactly love. People who are in love experience a lot of feelings, but they're not always love, but it's just that feelings. An example of this would be, like people who are abusive can feel deep feelings for their partner, but most of us would not consider that love. I know I don't. So, yes, feeling love for one another or feeling love within yourself is a part of love, but it's not love in itself. We can't say that feelings is love for every case and everybody. The next one I want to talk about is an action or a choice, which I kind of group together. You know, is it caring, affection, attention, or doing things for someone? Now, again, I would say that the evidence suggests that it's not exactly love. There are many people, who feel like they love each other, what I'm saying, but they're rude, neglectful, abusive, selfish, or other things. Um, Now, like I said, yes, of course, love can be choosing to do things, but how many, people do things for people they don't love? You know, love does include actions and choices, but and it does express a state of love, but love is not an action exactly. I've heard that a lot, and it's not that I completely disagree with it, but I've heard people say love is not a feeling, it's a choice, and they say like it's choosing to, you know, love this person in hard times, or, to it's choosing to do things for this person. And yes, I partially agree, but sometimes we do something out of obligation. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't want to hear this person out, or oh, I could give millions of dollars to a charity, but I'm doing it for a tax write off and to get admiration and fame. So in that case, love would not be an action. It's just an action without love. So that's why I can't say that is completely true. The next one is some people will say that love is a force. And what I mean by that is like, um, some, I guess, belief system point to love being a greater force. They say the source of all things. Or there are some people, who believe like love is who we are at our core. It's our essential nature. Although most people do have like love inside of them, and I believe most people want to do good, that can't be true entirely, because you have like psycho or sociopaths, who lack any emotions, you know what I'm saying, or even other people who have issues with love altogether. So, if it's who we are is then that would almost mean that, a sociopath or a psychopath isn't human. So I can't completely agree with that either. And the last one I talk about is an illusion. So there's some people that believe that love altogether is an illusion or a myth. This is the only one viewpoint I can say I completely disagree with altogether. That's why I kind of included it in here. You have like family love, love for food or materialistic things. Like I said, I love red velvet cake. Um, you know what I'm saying? And like most of those people like who think that it's a myth or whatever, it's because they've never experienced it or, saw it for themselves. Maybe they had a bad upbringing, whatever the case is. But if love exists in any form at all, then it can't be an illusion. Even if I love somebody and they don't love me back, it's possible that somebody else might love somebody who loves them back the same and it's mutual. And, so just from based off that alone, that's why I disagree with this viewpoint. Now, one thing we can say about love is that it is experienced based on the belief and programming of the individual. Once again, the five love languages is one example. The feeling of love always take place within the individual. Love comes from within you and not from others. Would you agree? Yes? No? Now let me give some examples of what I mean by the feeling of love comes from within. Example number one. If you think about it, when you are with the person and you feel love for them, does it go away when they leave? Does it go away if the person doesn't know when or if you're feeling love? Of course not. Example number two. You can feel love for someone even if you do something mean to them or they do something mean to you or hurt you. You can still feel the love inside, right? Example number three. You can feel loved by someone or you can believe they love you even if they don't love you. Trust me, that's one I've struggled with a lot in the past. Number four, you can feel love because someone did something nice for you, even if they weren't feeling love when they did it. And number five, you can feel love because you're lonely and a person gave you attention. So, okay, in all of those examples, the feeling of love was not dependent on another person, like meaning you didn't like need them to receive the love or even know about it in order for you to feel it. You didn't need them to be experiencing the feeling of love, you know, in order for you to have felt that love. And the reason for that is because the source of all the feelings of love starts within us and it's based on our own thoughts and beliefs. If we hold that, then that's how we'll feel, you know. So just to drive the point home a little more, I'm going to use only a couple examples of like external love. So the first external example is somebody can feel love for you, but if they don't tell you or express it, if you don't love them, would that make you fall in love with them? No, of course not. So for the last example, let's say that that person do tell you, but if you don't believe it, would that automatically make you love them? Well, for your sake, I would hope not, you know what I'm saying? Especially, if they don't show you that. Why is that though? It's because in order for you to feel love, you have to be thinking that you are loved. So all of those examples proves that love is the feeling that starts within. It's not something that somebody else project on us. So one of the main reasons I was using those as examples was because I know we all have said or still say, "Oh, they make me feel so loved," or "They don't make me feel loved." But all of those examples are proof that even if they don't try to make you feel loved, if you believe it, you'll feel loved. And if they try to make you feel loved, if you don't believe it, you won't feel loved. So it's just proof that love starts within. Um, that's a topic I get more into the psychology on that in a later video, but too much for this video for now. So let's move on. Now we'll be getting into the difference between in love and true love. But before we do, I wanted to give some quick psychology behind how the brain works. Um, it's been proven that the in love phase or feeling can last anywhere from 6 months to 3 years tops if you're lucky. Okay, so real quick, basically what it is when you first meet somebody and you're feeling in love, your brain is producing all these endorphins. So that's what's actually making you feel all those incredible feelings when you with that person, when you think about them, and so on and so forth. So after about 6 months up until, like I said, 3 years, if you're lucky, your brain stop producing those endorphins. So that's why the in love feeling fades away. So to where like you was getting all those rush of chemicals before you're no longer getting them. After that, it fades away. Usually it's sooner than later. And usually it doesn't happen for both people at the same time. Some people argue that men is closer to 6 months and women, go longer towards 3 years, but obviously that's not always true. Probably more likely, but not always true. Anyways, oh yeah, but the bright side is that it's been some proven ways to expand the in love feeling. But at that point, you stepped out of in love and into true love. Um, and if you're given the right tools and you use those tools efficiently and effectively, that can happen at any point, 6 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So I'll be covering some of the tools like that in future videos. So please stay tuned to this channel for that type of content. Now, let's get into knowing the difference between in love versus true love. So, for the first one, when you're in love, you depend on the relationship for self-esteem. True love, each of you accept the fact that neither one of you is perfect. So y'all don't need the relationship to feel good about yourself. Number two, in love, you take more from the relationship than you give. For example, whether it's affection, spending time, attention, or so on and so forth. True love, both of you experience the joy of giving as well as receiving. Number three, in love, the relationship drains your emotional, psychological, and or physical energies. True love, the relationship still gives each person the energy to devote to other aspects of life. Number four, in love, you feel a deep need, clinging, or grasping for them. Real true love, you regard that both of you are individuals, separately, apart with each other. Number five, in love, you are afraid that the other person could lose interest in you. Real true love, trust and honesty binds you together. Number six, in love, you are jealous of the other person's separate activities. True love, each of you continues to grow as independent human beings. Now, a quick side note, for me, this list was on point. When I made this list, I was just thinking, not too long ago, it was before, I took my certifications to do life coaching. But I was dating, not seriously, but dating a young woman. And I can honestly tell you 5 out of 6 of these things was definitely her. And, she was so in love with me so fast. It was kind of overwhelming. I didn't know her that well, but long story short is I knew that she didn't love me and that it was something that would fade away eventually. And like, had I been already doing my certification, back then, I probably would have got out of that a lot sooner. Honestly, needless to say, not that I care, but it wasn't even a couple of days after I felt I needed to back off her because I felt so drained that she was already hopping in a relationship with somebody. And it's like that right there proved that it was in love and not true love. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. My recommendation would be to go towards true love. In love would be for anybody who's just looking for something right now. And sadly, that is a lot of people. But that's not what my channel is about. My channel is about building true, fulfilling love that won't die out, that'll last and continue to grow. Um, so, yeah, obviously, that would be my recommendation. Um, Another thing would be to examine yourself and examine, you know, the person you're dating or the person you're in a relationship with or even the person you're married to. Um, even if you're single, and you meet somebody new, if awareness is the first step to being able to build true love, you know. So if you're still in that in love stage, that's okay. But if you're aware that it's in love, whether it's for you or the person you're dating or both of y'all can start working towards building true love before the in love stage fade away. Y'all can see that in love is a problem because in between 6 months to 3 years tops, it's gonna fade away. All the things, that's why it's a relationship, or all the things that you love, you start to hate, or the things that used to not matter is just such a big issue because y'all stayed in love phase and then it faded away. You never built true love. And obviously, that's why most relationships fail, and why they have so much drama. I'm not going to get into the crazy eight and all that stuff. It's so much valuable information that I try not to get into it. But this is why most relationships fails because, in between that 6 months to 3 years, one then the other, feelings fade away and they never build true love. So that's why the small things are now huge issues, and the things you used to love you hate, you know. So that's obviously a major problem. Now, obviously, after reading this list, more stuff I could have put on here, but I just wanted to, give some of the ones that I think at least are more common. It may be, some things that you don't experience because the relationship is still growing or changing, as it will continue to do forever. Um, but at least take a look at this list. And, if you seem to be experiencing more of, the in love or true love, then at least you know where your relationship stands now or where it may be heading in the future. Now, whether you are experiencing the in love feeling or true love, there are many tools you can, implement to help you, go towards or continue to grow deeper into true love. Like I said, I will be covering, some of these tools in a future video, so please keep an eye out for that.
Okay, warriors, thanks for spending time with me here today, and thank you for taking the time to get some tools to create and build your relationship or future relationships into true, fulfilling, lasting love. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so when I drop more valuable relationship coach and relationship advice, you will get the notifications. And also join my Facebook page where I will be dropping more valuable relationship advice. The link is down in the description section. Also, I'm in the process of making a completely free ebook with a lot of relationship coaching and advice tips. So please be on the lookout for that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If not, please give it a thumbs down. But either way, feel free to leave some feedback or let me know what content you would like to see. Feel free to share this video with anybody else. And again, thank you for spending your precious time with me here today. All right, let's rise up and fight for love. Warriors out.